So this video is just going to run over today's classwork, and in today's classwork we were dealing with scientific notation. At the bottom of the page there's just the two rules for scientific notation, and the rules are the coefficient, which is shaded in red or highlighted in red, must be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. And that's a key rule because if we're dealing with numbers that are greater than 10, we want to follow that rule and make that number less than 10. And the second rule is what's highlighted in blue must be a base of 10. So we want to be times and a base of 10. And we could see 10 to a positive exponent or to a negative exponent, depending on what number we're dealing with. So in our first example, we're dealing with 195 billion. And we want to convert this to scientific notation. And the first rule we have to think about is we want this number to be in between 1 and 10. So put that decimal point over on the right of your number and count over until you end up with a number that's in between 1 and 10. And if you count over, you should end up with 1.95. That number is in between 1 and 10. And now think about how many times you move that decimal point over to the left in order to get 1.95. And when you count that, you actually moved it over 11 times. So we have times 10 to the 11th. So in this next number we have 56 million. And once again, we want to first write this number in between 1 and 10. So once again, kind of count that decimal point over, or move that decimal point over, until you end up with a number in between 1 and 10. And you should end up with 5.6. 5.6 is a number in between 1 and 10. And think about how many times you move that decimal point over. Well, you move it to the left, in this case, 7 times. So we have times, 5.6 times 10 to the 7th. Now, the next example, notice we're dealing with a very small number. And once again, we still want to follow that same rule. So our first thought is let's make this number a number in between 1 and 10. And if you're counting over, we're going to move this point over now to the right. So we're going to move it to the right. And once again, we want to end up with a number in between 1 and 10. And that number should be 5. 5's in between 1 and 10. Now take a second and think how many times you move that decimal point over to the right to get that 5. And you actually moved it 8 times. Now notice here we moved the decimal point over to the right, not the left. We actually made it the number larger than it was. Because we moved the decimal point over to the right, we're going to be dealing with a negative exponent. Notice in the examples above, I moved my decimal point over to the left to make a number in between 1 and 10. And because I moved it to the left, I was dealing with a positive exponent. So just be careful with your positive and your negative exponents. For that next one, once again, we're dealing with a very small number, and you might have caught on to kind of the pattern. We're going to be dealing with a negative exponent. So let's first make this a number in between 1 and 10. So once again, we're moving our decimal point over. And when we do that, we should end up with 7.03. And it is important, 7.03 is a number in between 1 and 10. So I know it has that 0 within that place value, but it is a number in between 1 and 10. So we have 7.03. And think about how many times you move that decimal point over. We moved it to the right, so we know we're dealing with a negative exponent. And count in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 5 times. 7.03 times 10 to the negative 5th. And last but not least, we'll look at that last example, 72,000. So if you want to take a second and give this one a shot on your own, pause the video and take a second and give this one a shot on your own, or look over your previous work and see kind of if you maybe could look at or find that mistake. So we should end up with 7.2 times 10 to the 4th. And once again, 7.2 is a number in between 1 and 10, and we have a power of 10, 10 to the 4th. And it's positive here because remember, now we're moving our decimal point over to the left. So we're going from a bigger number to a smaller number. So we should end up with a positive exponent. So once again, just be careful with your signs of the exponents. So in the bottom examples, now we're going to be working with kind of the reverse process. So we're given a number in scientific notation, and we want to write it in what's called standard form, the normal form we see numbers in. So we have this 2.35 times 10 to the 5th. And kind of think about the logic we used above. So 10 to the 5th is really telling us we move the decimal point over to the left to get this number to be a number in between 1 and 10. So let's go in reverse. Instead of moving it to the left, now we're going to be writing in standard form. We're going to be going in reverse. Now we're going to be moving the decimal point over 5 times to the right. So think, if we move it over twice, we get 235. I have to move it over 3 more times, meaning I have to add 3 zeros. I end up with 235,000. That would be the number in standard form. And once again, we're kind of going in reverse now. We're given a number in scientific notation, and we're writing it in standard form. A quick note, because we're dealing with a positive exponent, we're expecting that number to be larger. So if you ever make a mistake and you move it to the left, just look and say, it's a positive exponent, I expect that number to be large, let me double check my work. In the next example, well, similar idea, we have 3.214 times 10 to the negative second, and notice we're dealing with a negative exponent. So think, if we're dealing with a negative exponent, that means that number should be a small number. So that means that we should be moving our decimal point over to the left. We're going to be going in reverse now in these examples. So now we're going to be going to the left 2 times. I move it over once, I get 0.3214. I have to move it over 1 more time, meaning I have to add my 0. And that would be that number in standard form. Okay? And you shouldn't end up with any negative numbers here. I know we have a negative exponent, but that doesn't mean it's a negative number. It just means it's a very small number. In our next example, we have 6.09 times 10 to the negative 7th. Negative exponent tells you a very small number. So we have to move that decimal point over 7 times to the left. Move it over once, we get 0.609. I have to move it over 6 more times, meaning I have to add 6 zeros. And that would be our number in standard form. In that next example, we have 5 times 10 to the 8th. And it's a positive exponent, so we're expecting a large number. And in this case, our decimal point, well, it's already to the right of 5. It's 5 point. That means we have to move it over 8 times. In other words, we have to add 8 zeros. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we can add our commas in, and we'll just add them in here. And we have our number in standard form. And last but not least, we have that last example. Once again, look, we're dealing with a negative exponent. That's telling us we expect a small number. Telling us we're moving our decimal point over to the left, and look at your exponent. It's negative 5 times. Move it over once, we get 0.912. We have to move it over 4 more times. 0.0000912 would be our final answer.